So I saw The Collector a few years ago, and I really enjoyed it as opposed to what most people thought. But when I heard they were making a sequel to it, I just had one thought in my mind, and that was, who the hell is financing this? The Collection is a movie that picks up almost directly after The Collector. It's just a few days in between. And you have Arkin from the first movie who is captured by the Collector. He eventually escapes the Collector's traps and clutches and whatnot while the Collector is, destroying a club. That's such a great scene. Then he eventually has to lead a group of people to the base of the Collector, essentially, because the Collector took a girl who is the police chief's daughter, something to that extent. It's never really revealed, so that could be completely wrong, actually. They never tell you what this guy does, but whatever. Then there's a group of people, they're going into the Collector's base, and he has to lead them through to try and find her before she is killed by him. Now, The Collector, like I said, I enjoyed that movie, and I was actually really looking forward to this movie. I thought the trailer was really interesting. It looked like it would have some badass gore in it. So I just wanted a good bloody horror movie, which I have not seen in a very long time. Seriously, this is the first time all year I've actually been like super hyped to see a horror movie. And honestly, I thought this movie was a blast. I just thought that it was better than The Collector in every way possible. It just amps up the gore, the violence, the disturbing scenes. It's so much fun to watch for a horror fan, or kind of former horror fan here, And one thing I do want to get off my chest is the fact that in The Collector, I thought Josh Stewart did a great job as Arkin, and surprisingly enough, I thought the acting in this movie was actually pretty well done, aside from some extras or minor characters. All the main characters, Emma Fitzpatrick and Josh Stewart, they were both really good in this movie. Emma Fitzpatrick is the girl who got kidnapped by the Collector, and I liked how she actually had a head on her shoulders. She wasn't a complete idiot, and she was actually smart and tried to figure out how to get out of these situations, instead of just sitting there screaming and waiting for the hero to come save her. She actually did things in the movie, and I thought that was fantastic. The thing I really wanted to see in this movie is if the gore and the traps would be better than the first one. And I gotta say, they are. The first scene in the movie, the club scene, is just absolutely sloshed. It's just a giant gore fest with great traps, and it's so much fun to watch. I absolutely love that. And then as they get to the Collector's base, you see all this fucked up stuff he has there. It's so disturbing, and it's definitely not for the faint of heart. If you don't like gore or anything to that extent, do not go anywhere near this movie, because it's absolutely filled with it. And the Collector as a character, I don't remember hating a horror villain this much in a very long time, ever, because Freddy Krueger is still by far my favorite horror villain, but I was never really rooting against him, honestly, because he was a character that, yeah, he's a bad guy, but he was just so much fun to watch on screen that I never really wanted him to die. So there is that. Honestly, I really despise the Collector, because he's just such a messed up psychopath, which made the last 20 minutes or so of this movie so gratifying. I absolutely loved watching this movie, and honestly, this is a horror movie that actually has disturbing scenes. A lot of them these days just use jump scares and all that bullshit. Now, there are some of those in this movie, but this movie has some really creepy scenes. Like, there's a scene in the trailer where you see he's releasing these tarantulas or giant spiders of some sort, not giant, but this big, all over the room, and you're just crawling on the girl's face. It's just so creepy, especially if you hate spiders like I do. There's another scene where he has these like zombies, or I don't even know what they were, but they were in like the bottom level of his base. It's so weird and creepy. Oh, I really enjoyed this movie. Honestly, Sinister scared the hell out of me, but I just enjoyed this movie so much more than that. So I'm gonna say The Collection is my favorite horror movie of this year, and I'm going to give it a large popcorn. If you don't like torture porn-ish movies, I wouldn't suggest going to see this, but if you're a horror fan, I think you'll at least enjoy this movie. So have any of you guys seen The Collection or even know what it is? I know it wasn't marketed very well, and it's only released in like 1,500 theaters, and it's probably gonna bomb. It's probably gonna bomb terribly, but you know what? I don't care, because I really enjoyed the movie. Have you seen The Collector? Write your beautiful comments down there and tell me what you think. And if you like this video, hit that subscribe button up there, because if you don't, I'm in my basement, there's no zombies down here, so I'm pretty happy.